Hey guys, Pops here, ILWPOD. We're back for another review. Justin's here with me. We're going to do St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
St. Valentine's Day Disaster? What do you mean?
1999 in your house. Memphis, Tennessee, at the Pyramid, 19,082. So you think this is a disaster?
Look, man, I mean this with all disrespect. This might be the worst pay-per-view I've ever watched. I've watched wrestling for 25 years of my existence, and it took me 4 days to watch this 3-hour show.
That's rough, man. Like, a lot of people think very fondly of this pay-per-view. You know
I know,
that, right?
and I'm about to shit all over.
Okay. It starts out like a black and white movie with the promo package with all the WWE superstars. There's a lot of Vince and Austin in it.
Yes.
I really enjoyed this. I like the opening promo, the opening video package. I enjoyed it a lot. We get Cole and King on the announce booth. That was kind of great.
Back in Memphis.
Yeah, back in Memphis.
I know I said I'm going to shit all over this, but I'll start with saying the opening video package and the video packages throughout might be one of, if not the only good things about this show.
Wow.
So, just
shout out Kevin Dunn.
Just to set the standard, we start this show with a rivalry, quote unquote, match with Goldust and the Blue Meanie.
Blue Dust.
He's known as Blue Dust. It's insane. This rivalry started over Goldust stealing Al Snow's head.
Well, anytime you steal a man's head, there's going to be problems.
This was a very short match. I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes total. A lot of shenanigans. Meanie runs out of the ring.
All this over some head.
All this over some head. Goldust spanks Blue Dust, which might be absolutely revolting.
I thought it was fucking hilarious. I loved it.
I think I gagged. Blue Dust.
He spanked him over some head.
Dial it in. Blue Dust misses one of the worst moonsaults I've ever seen, and Goldust capitalizes with, if you want to call it a curtain call, we can call it a curtain call. And post-match, Goldust even gets further over on Blue Dust with some shattered dreams. And that's about really all there is for this match segment, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, next we get a hardcore match with Al Snow and Head.
Snow and Head.
Versus Hardcore Holly.
This is pretty hardcore, though.
Yeah,
this is just Bob.
Yeah, this was just Bob Holly. They emphasized, though, that he was no longer Sparky Plug.
Mm-hmm.
The title is vacant. Road Dogg was injured and had to go to the hospital earlier in the evening, they said, so he had to relinquish the belt. And these guys beat the brakes off of each other all over the place. They used everything that wasn't nailed down all over the arena. Through the back, outside, they knocked over a sign, fought on some cars, ended up down by the Mississippi riverbanks.
Yes, sir.
Both men in the middle of February. Both men end up in the river, freezing cold, I'm sure. There's some fencing laying on the ground. Holly unrolls it, wraps Snow up in it, pins him, and your new hardcore champion is Bob Holly, and he is no longer Sparky Plug. They emphasize that over and over again.
Next, to capitalize off all this momentum we got going throughout this show, we get this weird vignette pre-tape thing with it looks like the Ministry of Darkness is in some weird alleyway, presumably in a tent camp. Under the underpass with the flaming trash can. Taker's talking all about Boss Man's match, and says something about their fate begins this evening, and is very cryptic. And look, I love the Undertaker, but Ministry of Darkness Undertaker is definitely bottom of that flaming barrel.
Oh wow. That's harsh.
We then go into Boss Man versus Midian. You got the corporation versus the ministry.
I think the crowd said this best.
Yes.
Boring.
Agreed.
And it's crazy because I love Ray Traylor, the Big Boss Man. But this just wasn't good. He was an amazing big man all throughout, but this was not good at all.
I will give him some props. He is super athletic, which commentary does a great job of putting that over. There's not much to this match. I don't think, Midian was the best in-ring performer to put next to Boss Man. The match does kind of end out of nowhere with a Boss Man slam for the win, and then the Ministry comes out. They all absolutely just lay the boots to him as Taker slowly makes his way halfway down the aisle, and Viscera connects with 3 splashes, and the Acolytes carry him away.
Yeah, we just did a review where they kidnapped Viscera, you remember?
Yes.
Yes, so he has just become the last review we did. Next, we get a backstage with Kevin Kelly, D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, Sexual Chocolate with Ivory, and they will be taking on Double J, Jeff Jarrett, Owen Hart with Deborah for the tag team titles. Ivory says if Deborah gets involved, she's going to rip her clothes off. Michael Cole asks King, which one do you like best, King? And King says, I don't know. I'd have to sample them both. I just thought, oh my God, they could not get away with that today. There was also a comment made during the match. King says Owen Hart's not wrestling with shadows.
Okay.
And Brett had just left in November at the Survivor Series. This Wrestling with Shadows was about to drop. So
I got you.
A year before, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. It was a year earlier, year and a half earlier.
Change, yeah.
Yeah, so the Wrestling with Shadows DVD was just about to come out or just coming out at the time. So I thought that was interesting.
I'm going to start by saying this whole rivalry itself, if you think about it with Ivory and Deborah and Sexual Chocolate, ages like milk. It is crazy. Mark comes to start this match. Mark Henry gives Ivory flowers. Owen and Jarrett, I'll give them props. They play tag team very well. Isolating the big man, isolating D'Lo Brown. Until D'Lo changes the pace with Sky High. D'Lo Brown is somebody I think is extremely underrated. Should give him more credit. I understand somebody got hurt in a match with him, and that's maybe where the push fell. But D'Lo is somebody I think that should be held much higher regards. This where things go sideways is Deborah using puppies, distracts D'Lo. Ivory tries to even the odds, causing the distraction of the referee and D'Lo Brown. Mark Henry has Jeff Jarrett up in this military press, and Owen capitalizes on the whole situation by hitting Mark in the legs with the guitar, which Mark already has the knee brace on, so you already see where that's going. Jeff wins with the figure four.
My thoughts on this, what I got out of this, was the guitar was broke all over the damn ring. And as soon as the ref turns around, he looks down at the guitar and then drops down and counts anyway. Owen tried to get the guitar out of the ring, but there was just no way to get all the guitar out of the ring. So that kind of took me out of it a little bit, but I did like the fact that the ref just no-sold it and just kept
going.
Yeah. Next we get backstage with Kevin Kelly again. The WWE champion Mankind talking about The Rock and his last man standing match still to come. And the attack on him earlier from The Rock as he was working out with Bob Backlund, Dominic DeNucci, and the Iron Sheik on Sunday Night Heat. Mankind's trying to get in shape, and The Rock attacks his knee with that coffee urn. So we're getting an update on that. I thought that was great.
Before we get into one of the worst Intercontinental title matches I've ever seen, I would like to point out something. As I was watching this, it came to my mind that watching this, when you was a kid or a teenager at this time, you probably saw Bob Backlund and the Iron Sheik and those guys the same way I look at all the guys in this pay-per-view, The Rock, Mankind. They're the same age now as you get what I mean? Looking at it from that point, it was just really interesting to see how maybe your perspective could have been kind of like my perspective. You see what I mean?
I just know watching WWF at this time, you got normally 2 main courses and a bunch of filler. So if it was like you were going out to the restaurant, you get these 2 main dishes or 3.
Yeah.
And then the rest is all filler. And At the time, I partied a lot. That was the time we would drink and hang out and shoot the shit. And then when the main events come on, you would sit down like a big fight field. So it was kind of like the pre-card.
I got you.
Yes.
I got you. As far as Val Venus versus Ken Shamrock, this rivalry is obviously for the Intercontinental title, but it's also kind of over Shamrock's storyline sister, Ryan, which Val Venus has been doing quote-unquote things with, and they show you this in vignette, whether it's in the shower or wherever. The thing I thought was really interesting is Billy Gunn's special guest referee, because senior official Earl Hebner at the time would not sanction a referee to do that. I like
because
storyline.
Shamrock kept snapping, hurting all the refs.
Kept hurting all the refs. Val comes out with Ryan Shamrock. Shamrock sees this and immediately rushes the ring. And Val Venus is able to get the upper hand for a moment, and then Shamrock goes crazy and dominates a large majority of this match until Val Venus is able to reverse a suplex. There were several times where both men could have got 3 counts, and Billy Gunn counts so slow.
Yes.
Even one time he's on the wrong side. And it was cool
over.
because logically speaking, he can't see the shoulders. So Billy Gunn got in position where he could see the shoulders.
Well, they worked the Billy Gunn referee angle
really well.
Really well.
That might have been the only part of the match.
I thought the match had great psychology. I just thought the match sucked.
This all comes to an end pretty much when Shamrock has the ankle lock locked in. Ryan Shamrock helps Val make it to the ropes. And kind of Shamrock goes out and they're arguing. They're having a spat on the outside of the ring, and Ryan smacks Ken. And then Ken gets in the ring, gets rolled up, and fast count. Billy Gunn, boom, boom. And Billy gets in a scuffle with Shamrock. Shamrock goes to the back, and then he takes out the IC champion in the middle of the ring, and that's it. Match is done. I thought if in doing this, what you really did was you just put Billy Gunn over.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn really squashes both these guys in this whole situation.
Yes, he does.
So the ref got over.
Definitely. But Val Venus is your new Intercontinental Champion.
Unfortunately.
Next, we get a video package on DX. The split up China left DX for the corporation, turned on Triple H.
Yep.
We get a video package on that, kind of hyping up the next match.
Mm-hmm.
And next, we get corporate China and Kane versus the European champion X-Pac and Triple H DX. And this is the first time a woman has competed in a tag match with men. Amongst men in the WWF. So this was pretty cool. Shane McMahon joins Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler at the announce desk on the headset. So China makes Kane tag her in against X-Pac once he gets X-Pac down. But it's short-lived before X-Pac goes for a Bronco Buster. China rolls out of the ring. And when she does that, she tags Kane back in. As soon as Kane gets him down again, China wants to tag back out. And so I like the way they work that angle.
That's kind of the basic psychology of the whole match, is China taking advantage of Kane's work. DX, though, tries to really isolate China and put the double team work on Kane throughout the match. Kane at this time reminded me of Jason Voorhees. Unstoppable. Didn't matter how much you threw at him. He got up. He fought through it.
It was definitely the best version of Kane. It was even to the point where him and Undertaker, where he was even kind of more menacing than Undertaker.
Especially at this time. I would say, obviously I didn't live through the late 90s, but if I was watching this as a child, I would have been much more scared of Kane than take your trash can out there in the fucking parking lot, whatever he was doing. But things kind of shift when X-Pac eventually Bronco Busters China, but Shane attacks X-Pac. Shane gets off commentary, attacks X-Pac. These two fight themselves all the way back to the back.
Chases Shane.
And then Triple H goes to pedigree China. And Kane comes in, choke slams Triple H, puts China on top of Triple H. The ref counts the 3, and China just beat Triple H in the middle of the ring. I don't know. This wasn't a bad match. It was one of, I'll say the better matches out of the first 2 hours of the card.
I didn't like it at all. I thought it stunk.
Okay.
I just did. I thought at this time DX was so
it was just convoluted.
Yeah, convoluted is the good
word.
word.
You didn't have the Outlaws. You didn't have Michaels.
Right, it was all messed up.
It was rough.
And it just, this was the point too, right after this, Triple H ends up going and joining with China. So none of this made sense.
I see ultimately why a month later at WrestleMania 15, why it ended the night after. Because it ended the night after. The Raw after WrestleMania 15, DX is done. Yep. And it makes a lot of sense looking at the February show.
Yes.
Up next, we get the last man standing match between Rock and Mankind, which was ultimately the best match of the show. Hands down.
Do you think it was better than the main event?
Definitely.
Me too.
Mankind, I liked how he kind of goads Rock in with turning his back on him at the start, and Rock lays on him multiple attacks. Boom, boom, and Mankind keeps turning his back to him, putting his hands behind his back.
That was a throwback to the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the handcuffs.
Right, for the handcuffs. And also, it was trying to lure the Rock in, I think, to a false sense of security.
Absolutely.
So Foley could get him because, that's what happens. Foley finally gets a hold of him. And when they do, they fight all over the arena. They end up out at the tech table. And Foley delivers a power driver through the tech table out by or DDT.
Yep.
Through the tech table. And I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
I like how they go up. They both utilize the set, which the sets at the time for the stages were great. Going to the tech area and seeing how limited the tech area is compared to now was kind of cool. And then eventually they make their way over to commentary, and Rock takes down Mankind and gets on commentary, which might have been my favorite part of the match.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Mankind does a senton flip over the announce table onto Rock, and
the right hands.
In the right hands.
Multiple.
Taking him in the...
he does the elbow drop
off the apron. While Rock's kind of like draped over the
announce table.
The announce table. Rock gets back in the ring. Foley goes to bring the steps in. And this is kind of where things turn a little bit. Rock big boots the steps into Foley's face, which was brutal. Then Rock takes advantage of the injured knee with multiple chair shots to the leg. Rock hits himself with the chair, which, if you notice, I like how they did this, because usually when the guys do that now, they flip the chair over, and you can tell it's boom, boom.
Yes.
Rock hit himself with the ass into that chair, which is dangerous, but it was cool. And then we see the cactus clothesline, which is nice. That's one of my favorite moves.
Table spot
is brutal.
Yes.
Back body drop.
Back body drops Mick Foley off the announce table, and his leg hits the bell and the timekeeper's table.
Yes.
And his head bounces off the announce table. The Rock gets back in the ring where the stairs are laying.
This is brutal.
Foley is laying on the ground, crawling back to the ring, trying to get up. And Rock takes the stairs from inside the ring and throws the stairs on his hip and his leg.
It's brutal.
Brutal. And I loved it.
After that, Rock starts singing mid-match.
His best Elvis in Memphis.
It's great. I liked it.
Yeah. The SmackDown Hotel.
Comedy gold. But he gets caught with the mandible claw. And I like how at first he keeps trying to talk through it. He was holding the mic up, trying to talk through the mandible claw.
Yeah.
Rock goes to sleep.
His version of Elvis was amazing.
Then finally we get Mr. Sacco. Mr. Sacco is used twice. The first time it's ended with the low blow. Foley no-sells the low blow and immediately locks it back in, but Rock hits a rock bottom to get out of it. Both men end up getting up from that, but then both men hit each other with the chairs at the same time. It reminds me of Rocky and Apollo.
What was crazy is this was the last man standing match. Both men are knocked out. Mm-hmm. They bring the stretchers out. They stretcher them both to the back in ambulances side by side each other and take them off, and the match is over. That was the only thing that took me out of the match. The whole match I loved. I just didn't like the ending. I think there should have been a winner. It's the last man standing match. Somebody should have been standing. I think it was an easy way.
I think there's a lot of this in the Attitude Era of just promising you a finish and then there's some sort of shenanigans or some screwy whatever, and then it leads it on and on and on. And like with this storyline, I think it could have ended here. And I think it ultimately ends in a ladder match on Raw and Rock wins. But like, I think you just carried it on too long.
Yes.
So like, if you would have ended it, I think this whole rivalry between Rock and Mankind would have been looked back a lot more fondly. We get the main event next. Austin and McMahon in a steel cage. McMahon teases a lot getting in the cage. Like he acts like... Go ahead.
This was one of the biggest matches at the time. I can remember looking back. This was one of the biggest matches everybody was looking forward to.
I can't see why.
Because everybody wanted to see Austin finally get his hands on McMahon and in a cage and in that environment. They just thought it would be vicious, brutal.
I get it.
And everybody was craving it. So this pay-per-view was at a fever pitch because of this match and this rivalry being the biggest thing in wrestling history at this point.
With that said, I honestly think they shit the fucking bed. Because I don't think it was a good... Like, if you were saying this is my top rivalry, this is the big, bad finish, this has to blow out...
Well, I mean, you got to think
and then you spots. No, there's good spots in this. And there's memorable spots. It's the main reason when me and you sat down and said, hey, what do we want to watch? I've never seen this. I've played it on video games. I've never seen this match, nor the last match ever. I thought it would be really good because of the spots. And honestly, the spots is the only thing that this whole show has.
I mean, working with Vince, who is a limited competitor.
I think
Austin delivered.
You could have, I don't know. I think with that said, you could have supplemented McMahon for somebody else. Like, had somebody else hold the competition side of this.
Yeah, but that's not what people wanted.
They wanted
the blow off
which
Austin
is fair.
And even like the cage spot in this match where McMahon goes through the announce table, that was always on the Don't Try This at Home, the WWE DVD.
Well, I mean, he hits his back right on the frame.
But if you remember watching all the DVDs,
yes,
they would always have Don't Try This at Home, the ad, and that was the
it was part of it. The original, the old ones.
Yeah, I think they kicked the shit out of each other. They fought everywhere.
The match didn't start for like 15 minutes.
Well, yes. And they did a lot outside the cage. McMahon not wanting to get in the cage. Then once he gets in the cage, keeping Austin out of the cage. Yes. I think they played that perfect until Austin jumped off the cage. And it was like he hurt his knee. And so he waited on McMahon to come out there to attack him. And he lured him in. And then went to town on McMahon. And that's where we get the spot off the cage.
Where Austin bounces McMahon's head off and he flies back, lands brutally. I understand why they brought the EMTs out to try to get McMahon out.
That made my favorite part of the match. When Austin got the mic.
When Austin gets him out of it, I understand.
What he said. When he got the mic and he asked he asked Dave Hebner, he said, "Doctor, is he breathing?" And he said, "If that some bitch is still breathing, this ain't over."
Look, I like it. What I'm saying is like you just had two guys leaving an ambulance to immediately try the spot again and put another guy on a stretcher and pull him out of there. Like, maybe spaced it out more. Like, and I get you wanted your top title to be closer to the end of the show, but pacing wise, you just had less than 15 minutes ago, two guys carted out on a stretcher. Now you're going to do it again. It just threw me out of it. You see what I'm saying? I liked Austin.
I liked the Austin with the mic, and I liked
Verbal
Fink.
was great. Fink was great. Austin getting him off the stretcher was great. I think what hurt it was 15 minutes prior, we didn't get a finish to the last man standing. Like, if you would have finished it, or if like they would have eventually got up and walked themselves to the back or something, like, it would have made a lot more sense.
Well, and at this point, this match hasn't even started.
No, like, we haven't even got to the beginning. And like, Austin several times throughout this match couldn't win. And Vince flips him off with one bird. Austin gets back in, whoops him. Double bird. And then Austin hits the stunner, I believe twice. Once or twice. one or the other. I didn't write it down how many times, but Paul White comes to the ring.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about this is when the camera angle was, you could see the knife come up and cut the mat. But other than that, I thought this was excellent.
This was played well. This finish was cool.
Yes, the finish was great. How he threw Austin through the cage. Austin lands on the floor for the win and goes on to WrestleMania. I thought was great. Paul White being there, though, at the time, was something crazy because he was the Giant.
On WCW.
They played him as Andre's son. He was the Giant. He had the NWO. He had been one of their biggest stars. Nobody knew at the time because the wrestling internet wasn't like
it wasn't as big as it was. You had
right,
like
so nobody knew
rooms.
Paul White was going to WWF. Nobody had no clue. Now what they did with him when he got over there, different story kind of.
It took him a while to get him going.
Yeah, once they got him going though and got him acclimated to the WWF way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be one of the best hires WWF has ever hired.
Fair enough. I mean, overall, the last two matches weren't bad. I'd say Austin and McMahon was good for what it was. Obviously, limitations with McMahon. Rock and Foley was good minus the finish, which hurt it. And then everything else on this show, like I told you, I wrote out of 10 ratings for all of them. The highest was the DX match. If you had 5 out of 10 for me, and everything else was like a 4. I had a couple 1s. Like it just wasn't very good
My
quality.
favorite match was Blue Dust versus Gold Dust.
You're actually insane. But with that said, if you want to know more of our thoughts on this Austin McMahon rivalry, go and check out the 1999 Royal Rumble review right here on ILWPOD. And me and Pops.
As always, all praise to God. Thank you for your support.
See you next time.